I was hardcore misogynist last episode, so I'm trying to compensate. I'm going to be super misandrist this episode, and it's all going to wash out in the final analysis.
I'm going to be doing strictly physical comedy for this entire podcast.
Welcome to All the Marbles, everybody, where the stakes have never been higher. This week on the podcast, we have returning Alina Ivanov, Lawrence Comic, Patrick Merchant, first time on the podcast in Lawrence Comic, and third time on the podcast, Gunner, Sam Gunner. Samuel Gunner? What are you going by these days, buddy?
Sam Gunner's fine.
Sam Gunner's fine. This is Sam Gunner's fine. And if you follow on Instagram, it's going to be at
don't have an Instagram.
Welk Sam Gunner, Welk Sam Gunner, Sam Welk.
Welk Sam Gunner, Sam
underscore
Gunner,
007. Okay.
The Welk Sam Gunner Welk was taken.
Yeah. Does anybody have any things to blurt out into the void before we start off with the cards?
I'm happy to be here.
I need a cricket sound effect on my soundboard. I'm too lazy to add
I'm thrilled to be on Taylor's podcast.
Oh, God,
Thank you for having us.
We can confirm that this is real. This is a real podcast, guys.
There's some episodes on YouTube. I've seen the thumbnails. I've never clicked on one to see if it works.
Patrick, if you keep validating me, I'm going to start telling the audience all of the words you were saying before we went live, okay?
Cut them into the podcast.
Alina, what's going on is you're probably going to pick the first card and choose a comic to ask it of.
Okay. I'll pick a future card.
Oh, yeah.
Sam Gunner.
What's up?
Will a cure for cancer be found in the next 20 years?
Yeah, probably.
Nice.
How do you know?
I don't know.
What do you know?
What do I know? Research is looking good. I mean, we found out recently that a lot of research was made up across the entire field of science, and that's not great.
Wait, when you say made up?
Yeah, they just falsified their results and stuff just to keep getting funding because they were chasing the dragon. They thought they had a good idea. They really believed in it, so they falsified a lot of stuff.
I thought you meant that they had found a really
across the board. Yeah. So I don't know how much that affected the cancer research.
When you
just
said
interpretation of data that supports their hypothesis incorrectly?
Right, or literally just falsifying numbers and stuff.
Oh.
And just
don't do that.
Just lying.
Nice. Well, that's fine, right? When you said chasing the dragon, I thought that you meant that like they had found these really fun drugs and had been like putting into the documentation that this is promising for cancer research. You should give us more money so we can buy more of this drug and keep taking it and document the effects on our cancer that we definitely have. But no, that's interesting. Well, we solved that, I think. Pat, do you want to draw another card?
All right, here we go. Let me do this one. Taylor.
Cancer always makes a good topic of conversation, I find.
They don't mesh with me. I'm a Leo.
Bounces right off of them. If you're a Leo, you're immune.
All right. There are two women on this podcast today. Do you believe the set of concepts like duty, should, obligation, and deserving are ultimately more valid or meaningless?
Who were you asking?
Taylor.
Me? God damn it. Do you believe the set of concepts like duty, should, obligation, and deserving are ultimately more valid or meaningless? I mean, ultimately, if you're asking ultimately, like, they're gonna die with the species, technically, right? Because, like, as soon as there aren't humans to be believing in duty, obligation, and that jazz, there's gonna be no more duty, obligation, and that jazz. But did you have thoughts on that, Alina?
Since some primate species and other species have ideas of duty and obligation toward each other's communal species that live in like tribal communities, but
point.
It's not linguistically described.
That's a good point. And so, like, that might actually move my answer on that, because, like, if it exists outside of its linguistic descriptors, like, then it's real, right? Because we didn't build obligation out of language. We described it. We found it. We noticed this thing that has been existing for a second and figured out what to slap the label maker through on it.
Wouldn't it also exist in animals, right? Like animals kind of have like a social structure where they're like, hey, you do this and
that's
you
also
do that.
True,
so like that's a version of duty and obligation, I feel like.
Yeah. Like, dolphins know that we'll give dolphins shit for like raping other dolphins in tuna, right? But like you also see, but on the other end of that, you do see. I think I could be full of shit here, but if I remember right, when I was talking to somebody who was a fan of somebody who read about marine biologists online, they were saying that even though the dolphins rape the dolphins, the dolphin rapists get kind of ostracized from the dolphin societies also. So like the other dolphins know, even though you can say, yeah, dolphins will rape, it's like, yeah, but the dolphins also largely know that you shouldn't be raping, you know?
It was after the Porpoise 2 movement.
Nice.
Got him out of there.
But yeah. Sam,
Taylor.
we've gone from cancer to rape. Just bear that in mind as you choose your next card.
These are pretty.
Those are pretty.
Alina, if you saw someone walking down the street who looked exactly like you, what would your impression be?
I think initially I would be scared. Like it would be. I think I would be. It would be like frightening for me to see that. I'd wonder if we were related. Then I might be excited as long as they didn't just immediately avoid me, because it also might be my instinct to avoid them. And then I might take a couple of pictures.
Nice. Yeah, just so that you know that you didn't hallucinate later. Like just to
Yeah.
be like, no, I did. That was there.
Yeah.
The CIA has cloned me, and the clone has broken free.
Yeah.
And they're shopping at Target, weirdly.
I would probably just assume that my father had been unfaithful if I met someone who looked exactly like me.
That's probably more realistic take, but
Been cloning. Fair enough. Where are we on the cloning research?
Dolly,
Connor?
isn't it the sheep? They figured out how to do it with the
That
sheep,
was like
right?
back in the 80s, wasn't it?
it was, up until the early 2000s.
Oh yeah.
But it was successful cloning, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
And then we
right?
never
That's
heard
why-
anything again. So like, they must have made a huge breakthrough, right?
Kind of like the moon
They've
landing.
moved on to like birthing, like an artificial
Right.
wombs and stuff. The
Nice.
same people.
Oh,
that,
okay,
like-
yeah. So yeah,
The
they
same
just don't. You just don't hear the word cloning as much because it's all the.
It's just IVF.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right.
Hey Patrick, how would you raise a child differently from how your parents raised you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'd probably be a little bit nicer about like being able to go do your own thing a little bit. Maybe.
Interesting. Did you have like strict curfews and stuff?
Yeah,
all
I
the way
was, like,
through?
my parents were pretty strict. They were
Gotcha.
pretty
What was your curfew like through your teen years?
10.
10.
Yeah, like it was pretty.
Did that change after your parents got divorced and your dad was like, "Get the fuck out"?
I was not leaving. I wasn't living at home when they got divorced, so
Okay.
That answered my second question. How old were you then?
20. I was 19 or 20.
it was kind of your fault, and they were just waiting for you to.
Yeah, they were like, we'll stick it out for him,
Yeah.
and then he needs two loving and supporting parents. He's not going to make it without them. These two will be fine.
Right? No, they thought that it would get better once you left the house, and then it didn't. They're like, "Oh,
Oh.
Are they strict about your path as an adult? Like some parents are like, you have to be a lawyer, you have to be a doctor, and don't do creative things.
I wouldn't really say so. I mean,
Okay.
I think that they're cool with me doing stand up, and that's about the most you can ask, right?
That's
like,
good.
you know, like
Nice.
I think that they probably secretly have their own like apprehensions about it, but like I probably would too. I mean, it's kind of a goofy thing to do. You know what I mean? Like,
but they don't like bring it up to you and whatnot."
no, I mean they've been pretty chill about it. They've been fun.
Nice.
That's good.
That is good.
I mean, I do think that they think that I should be way better than I actually am, and I'm like, guys, like I've been doing stand up for 8 months. Like,
Yep.
it's cool. Like, I've got 10 minutes. Like,
Supposed
it's
to suck
not
for the
fucking-
first 5 years.
Yeah, like I'm not doing all that much. You know what I mean? But yeah. All right.
I'm a house comedian. What do you say? Oh no. Okay. I Alina, I think it's your.
Bill
Yeah.
Maher. Bill Maher's coming out now.
Bill Maher was a house comedian.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Taylor, which group is larger, people who trust you or people you trust?
Almost definitely people who I trust, probably. No, yeah. People who trust you. That's it. Or people that I trust. That's strange. Because my brain first was like people who trust you or people who don't trust you, and I was like, well, anyone who doesn't know me doesn't necessarily trust me. So obviously that group's bigger, but that's not actually on the card. I don't know if I trust more people than trust me. That's a weird question. I probably trust a lot of people. I trust most people. I trust people that I don't know, right? Like, I figure that strangers aren't gonna like attack me if I turn my back on them, right? So like that's more than. The more you befriend somebody, the less you trust them, kind of, because you have a more specified model in your head of ways that they may betray you. You have more contracts that you create that you have anxieties about the fidelity of, right? Like, basically, you can only trust strangers.
I mean, we trust strangers with like most things, right? Like
Yeah.
when we get in a car and drive, we trust they're not going to go the wrong fucking way.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Also, Uber.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's a certain amount of trust that we just have in like society.
Yeah. Nice. Patrick, I think it's your card.
All right. Here we go.
Controversial cards.
Gunner.
What's up?
Are there any viewpoints so offensive that they deserve to be shut down or suppressed? If so, which ones?
It's election season. Wait, that's not right. What? No, hang on.
No, keep the dramatic backing music.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that while
I obviously.
So shut down or suppress in a societal standpoint from people in power, or like when you're in a conversation and someone's being ignorant, let's say, why wouldn't you just be like, I don't want to hear that? So are there some opinions that should be
I think that it's asking from like a societal and governmental like, should certain views not be
then
allowed to be
no
had?
then no I don't know how much speech should be limited. I think there are consequences when you speak, but those are different than your government.
Yeah, there should be like
Imprisoning.
societally carried out more than like, yeah.
I know that would breed discourse that is not healthy to any situation when you oppress that kind of, when any kind of ideas. So I don't think in any front anything should, in speech, obviously.
He's a free speech absolutist, folks. It's would you identify as a free speech?
No, I don't even know what that
No?
means.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
I like he keeps saying that, but
Who keeps saying that?
you.
Oh, me. Okay. When?
I don't know. I'm not going to talk about elongated muskrat on your podcast.
Oh, okay. Wait, we jumped from me to. That's
Turns out we do have dicks for radio.
There it is. Okay. That's shout out Mikey Picorni. Come on the.
That's actually a Pete
Show in 18
Formula
months.
joke.
Is it?
Yep.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it
That's
isn't.
what I've heard as well.
Really?
Yep.
I'm,
Dick for
Dick for
radio.
radio.
That's a Mikey Picorni joke.
Mikey has done that
100%.
joke for.
Been doing it for at least the last.
Well,
10 years.
so I think that Peter gave it to him as a bit in a writers group. So like it's not like
No
he
shot.
just-
It's like a 5-year-old joke. What?
Writers Group knew.
like this
An
would have
old
been.
one?
I don't know the whole
This would've
story,
been
so I'm
years
not
ago.
even gonna. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You heard it here first, folks. Theft. No, kidding.
No, he said I talked to him about this actually just last Friday.
to Peter?
Yeah.
Interesting. That's wild.
And he's like, no, I gave him that joke. He's like, yeah, I said it. He's like, I gave it to him, and you didn't say when or anything.
Turns out Mikey gave him the entire R. Kelly song.
Mikey has a whole joke that was ripped on Primetime.
Really?
Yeah, it's an NPR joke that
Wow.
was on Primetime for a while.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
It's true. It's not a lie.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But that's
believe
just
it.
what I feel like people freak out about jokes being ripped, but I feel like it's just what happens when everybody's writing jokes.
True.
now, so.
Yeah, that's
True,
a
true.
good point.
But
There's
try
a lot
not
of,
to
there's a lot of
rip
overlap.
jokes, but it happens a lot.
No. All right. Who's? Oh, yeah.
It's me, correct?
Gunner's on it. Yep.
Alina, if you could, would you wirehead, i.e., hook yourself up to a hypothetical machine that makes you totally and eternally happy and satisfied?
Okay. I'm sweating bullets for some reason. I'm super stressed out on this. Would I? Yeah. Would I?
Well, luckily for you, there's a machine that could make you eternally happy.
Yeah.
And it's right here.
You're no
could get
longer
out of it.
stressed ever. The only
So-
problem is you can never leave the machine.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would do that because it does kind of feel like you would be like living in a vegetative state almost and sort of like living within a delusion.
Yeah.
And it's like living within a delusion that's happy all the time really better. Like I I think that it would be best to have a difficult life that's real, with moments of joy that you like search out yourself, because I also don't think that being happy all the time is necessarily the purpose of life. Like, I think being sad and being upset and having difficult times is just as much the experience of life as happiness.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would hook up to that machine, even though it would probably make my life objectively better if I did.
How do you know that the world outside the machine isn't a delusion?
Well,
Sigh from Gunner.
we have sort of like an
we go.
intersubjective idea of
Yeah.
reality.
Okay.
So that we all agree that there's a table here is probably
Gotcha.
enough for me
Okay.
to know that
Fair
it's
enough.
not a delusion.
When you said you would be trapped inside of the machine, I just kept on thinking of Bert Kreischer just chugging beers on a stage for some reason.
Bert Kreischer is
Would you like
trapped
to be
inside
in
the
a- I was gonna
machine.
say,
Okay,
that is
he's
true.
never leaving that bit. Like, he's gonna have to say that at every show for the rest of time.
You thought that awful movie would kill that bit,
Yeah.
but instead, breath new
lives
air.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bones heal back stronger, I think. Is that the no, they don't. I don't know.
Kind of. It's,
Scar tissue is tougher than skin. That's
Well, scar
true, right?
tissue
Is it not?
also. No, it is, but like
Okay.
it sucks to have.
Why does it suck to have? This is what I never understood. Okay, so scar tissue is stronger than skin. Why wouldn't someone just want to like turn their entire skin into scar tissue?
Well,
Why wouldn't we want to like
people get
surgically have
tatted
our...
up and down their
Painful.
bodies.
That's a good point. That's also a good point.
Yeah.
So it's like
splits.
acupuncture,
It
but like
splits quite easily.
yeah. Oh, does it?
Yeah.
It's not as elastic. No feeling. Or back to the wire head thing. You get rid of the
The pleasure of touch.
skin. Yeah.
The Jerry
The
Sandusky
pleasure of
story.
touch. That's episode title. Okay. Gunner, how often and in what ways does fear show up in you?
I mean, I'm always very anxious, so
Why?
just my state of being. I don't know
What
why.
are you doing that for? Why don't you just stop? Why don't you
Thank-
cut it out?
If I
Tell me
looked
more.
like that,
So,
I'd be
I've
I
anxious.
never
consider you might be
thought- I
making
never-
the rest of us uncomfortable with your uncomfortability, Gunner.
Oh no, I definitely
doing
worry
that
about
for?
that. It's a huge fear of mine.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I worry about doing well. I worry about.
When you say doing well, what do you mean by that?
I mean, consistently moving forward in a productive way.
Interesting. Okay.
I have goals, and I'm worried about not meeting those goals.
Interesting.
So I don't like to waste time.
What's your most what of your goals are you going to be the most bummed out if you don't hit?
I'm probably getting a good work from home job.
Nice. That's a good goal.
Yeah,
I like that.
because I want to travel in my spare time.
Oh yeah. It is funny, like the way that they're called. It's called work from home, and then everyone's like, I want a work from home job so that I can be at
Yeah.
home less. You know. It's a good time. Alina.
Okay.
No. What was your thought?
Was it the digital nomad is the whole thing, or is it the
Yeah, it is a whole
you
thing.
work
But
from
that-
home just to do that?
I'm not. Don't know how much I want to be. Would like to be a digital nomad currently.
Yeah.
And like I don't know.
What makes you steer away from digital nomad?
Just the loneliness of being on the road so much.
Gotcha.
I've
Valid.
done that, and it is kind of a hard feeling of
Oh.
isolation.
Special thanks to Ani, our production manager.
Thank
for
you so much.
Providing
Fantastic.
craft
What a
services.
fantastic.
Looks like we have
treat.
lovely pretzels and cheese.
Hot damn.
We're all
Patrick,
And yes.
describe the first time you fell in love with comedy.
Oh my god. Ugh.
Has it happened yet?
Good question. That's the real question. You know.
Or are you in comedy still just kind of like hooking up on?
We're having fun. You know. She's a great second option. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. What's your first option to comedy?
I don't know. I think like once you have like a pretty solid set, you feel better about it. Like you're like, oh okay,
Valid.
and that took a while. You know.
You've only been doing it for 8 months, though.
Yeah, around that.
Solid set in 8 months is really good.
I mean, I like just making people laugh at least a little bit. You're like, thank God, because I was eating shit. Like, I fucking sucked. I still suck, so.
No.
We're not leaving you hanging. We're just all eating pretzels. We
You don't suck.
You're
good.
like, just keep on talking about comedy for like 5 minutes on this
I know
totally
it can be-
serious comedy podcast.
serious comedy podcast. Don't let the tense silence fool you into thinking this is a serious podcast, Patrick.
I'm stressed as hell for no reason. I'm sweating bullets. I am nervous.
That's just the we got a thermostat. No, I think it's Patrick's card.
Yeah, I think
it a
I'm
vape?
pulling now.
That is vape. It's not nicotine.
No thanks.
Okay,
I usually get stressed and paranoid.
fair enough.
Oh yeah, I thought it would help with the stress.
It is odd how
It
there's
is
like
the
a weird
opposite
like
for me.
Adderall thing with like the some people it's gonna have the opposite. Yeah.
We're back to the. Okay, I've seen
Well,
the
you
episode
keep
with this
picking the
thing up.
controversial cards.
They have a color code.
Where do I want to go with this? Taylor.
Okay.
Is bestiality wrong, and are you a vegan?
Yeah, bestiality is in today's with today's technology and animal-human linguistics. Bestiality is almost definitely wrong. I'm not a vegan because you know what?
Steak is good.
Although I think that technically I do kind of have like steak is really good, but I do feel kind of weird eating cows because like cows don't eat us, right? Because like I can kind of figure a workable model of like carnivorism, right? If you just eat things that are your natural predators, right? Because it's like, okay, if this thing would kill me if it met me in the wild, I could eat bear meat all day and not feel a single pang of guilt. Right?
Yeah.
Because if the bear sees me, it's going to eat me. So if I can get up on the bear and eat the bear, it's quid pro quo, right? It's all.
So you'd
It's
be
all.
more in favor of like factory farming meat if it was all gorillas and bears?
Well, gorillas are primates, and that would start to feel a little weird.
Well, they'd beat the shit out of any of us.
That's
We'd
very
die.
true. That's a good point. So
So you
yeah,
think I'm, you know,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Lions.
When are we eating people?
I'd eat a
Yeah,
lion.
so that's what I'm saying. I'm seeing why these questions go together. Mm-hmm. Because if you eat meat,
Yeah.
like it's sort of like I'm okay with like if somebody was okay with killing and eating me,
Right.
but not okay with having sex with me. So that's sort of your take on animal life here. And so that's kind of I see why these two questions go
Yeah.
together.
Yep. 100%. Because if you're okay with killing and eating an animal, why wouldn't you fuck an animal? Because like whatever. Which I think it's because like once you've killed an animal, like the animal isn't suffering at the point that you are eating it.
Well, you can't get the
You are
animal's
causing.
consent.
You're directly causing suffering to an animal if you're raping it. But like if you're eating an animal that somebody else killed, you're not causing as much like direct harm in your to sentient beings. So yeah, I'd say bestiality is wrong. I'm not a vegan. I'm okay with it. I've come to terms with it. Gunnar, I think it's... Is it Gunnar's card?
Yes.
Yeah.
You've come to
Sorry, I
terms
keep
with-
putting my cup in.
Gunnar's
I've
pulling-
come to terms with bestiality. Yes, Gunnar.
all right, Alec.
Okay, so
Alec Mertz,
we
come back
say
on the
you've
show.
come to accept it.
When I say come, no.
Bestiality is not for me.
You know who's a virgin? My cat. I loved that joke.
It's a great
It's an
joke.
Alec
I
Mertz
love it.
joke. It was so good.
Alec Mertz, come back on the podcast. You're a legend.
Alina, best way for someone to make you feel loved?
The best way for somebody to make me feel loved is generally, I would say verbally or with like
With their mouth.
letters or poems or
Interesting.
books or songs, anything to do with words.
Nice. Big fan of notes. Big fan of notes.
Notes.
Love notes.
I used to be super anti love notes. I used to see them as like
I'm
a
not surprised.
on past podcasts, not this podcast, but on dead podcasts that I used to have. I've been on record announcing that love notes are a symptom of a failing relationship, and I've since come around on that. I think that the notes are underrated.
So you've grown as a person.
No, I just knew people that wrote bad notes. You know. No, yeah. I grew as a person is the official stance of Pretty Good Enough Studios. Anyone else?
For a
have
guy
any?
who's pretty guarded, Taylor, it seems like this podcast has a lot of fucking intimate and dark questions. You're always like, don't talk. I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to.
It's not really that guarded of a person.
I always when people ask me personal questions, I'm always like, no, come on my podcast and we'll talk about it, okay? This is where I can answer questions so that I can have a reputation for answering questions.
Is this why you've brought me on? Is to so you feel more comfortable asking me personal questions outside of the podcast?
Yeah. No,
Because
yeah,
I've noticed the questions have gotten very personal recently.
sure. Recently?
Yeah, last 2 weeks.
What's the most personal question that I've asked you?
I think you know.
He's stealing the therapy.
yeah, we were talking about. Yeah, we were. Do you want to talk about it?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Gunner, he's stealing the therapy that you're stealing from mental health hospital.
Yeah.
He's indirectly stealing therapy.
No, I'm trying to reverse it. I'm like a vigilante. I'm like, he's
Yeah.
stealing therapy. That progress is stolen. I need to undo some of that inner work because it's not rightfully his.
Fucking V for Vendetta over here.
Gunner, what's the most intense emotional pain you've ever experienced?
Losing my dad.
Nice.
Pretty easy. I thought I had to think hard, but no, that's pretty.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. Dude's dead. Been dead for a while now. It's 5 years.
5 years?
2019, March 6th, 2019.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's pretty hard. Loss is always hard. Outside of like direct loss, relationships, and my dad passing, I think more interestingly is like just the growing pains.
Yeah.
Getting older, that feeling of not losing a lot of first experiences, like things start to get familiar, and you, I mean, aren't going to experience the intense highs of childhood ever again.
True. And that is a very visceral reminder of that, where it's like,
Yeah.
these, yeah, for sure. Anyone else want to chip in on Gunner's emotional pain? Or do we wanna... Anyone else want to contribute to Gunner's emotional pain?
Oh, yeah. What's up?
This is your moment.
Surprise, no takers. I'm awful.
I told you
I
you
love
couldn't
you.
say that word, Patrick.
Patrick, what is the inside of a bunny burrow like, according to your wildest imagination?
Inside of a what?
Let's
what?
go, bunny,
Bunny
burrow. Not a euphemism, like an actual bunny burrow.
Like,
Like the boroughs in New York. Rabbits.
You know the burrow in New York that's filled with all rabbits.
probably it'd be like a Hobbit home.
Nice.
Probably my answer.
Lots of old maps.
You know. There's also a good book about it called Watershed Down that's kind of cool. Fucking nutty. I forget who writes it, but it's a fucking nutty fucking.
Pretty good animated.
Rabbits.
Pretty good animated adaptation.
Yeah,
Watership
it's a
Down.
solid animated film. So yeah.
Watch it on acid.
Yeah, I'd probably say like a Hobbit home would probably be the closest. that I
Nice.
would
That's pretty good.
Be able to come up with.
I like that. I like that.
What are the color codings of all of these again?
I always forget. I just pick at random.
Green is intellectual. White is sad. Yellow is personal. Pink is romantic. Blue is controversial. Crystal ball cards are questions about the future. First are questions about the first of things. Best are questions about the best of things. Date are questions you should ask on a first date. And potpourri cards are stuff.
I'm picking at random. Alina, have you ever had what you consider to be a spiritual experience? If so, what was it like, and what effects did it have on you?
I guess I took, I don't know, I guess it's fine. I took DMT one time,
Interesting.
and I felt like I went into another sphere of reality, and I I was having a lot of problems with, I was a younger person, and I was having a lot of problems with my body image and wanting to be thin, and I spoke to this like beautiful deity that was like obese. She was like the biggest woman I'd ever seen in my life, and it almost like cured a lot of my like.
Interesting.
But she looked like a deity to me, and almost like cured a lot of my issues with myself. So that felt like, yeah, that was a spiritual experience for me that helped out quite a lot.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
I'm not really religious though, so I woke up from it and was like, it's just kind of like my brain was whacked out and then trying to help me through a projection, less so than I felt like I was connected to a spiritual realm.
Always good to know that your brain has your back at the end of the day. You
Yeah.
know?
I bet that feels nice.
Right?
It's to keep the body alive as long as possible. It'll
True.
make up all
Oh,
sorts of
is that what's
stuff.
missing?
That's its function. Gunnar, I think it's your card.
Oh, you bastard.
I know. I'll make the rules. I just chart them as they generate themselves.
Taylor, where will you retire and what will you do with your time?
Oh God, I don't know if I'll retire.
Bold of you to assume in this economy.
That's
out
why.
of it.
That's why I made
said
it
I don't
sound
know
like
if I'll
retire. I don't know that word.
That'd be probably some bunny burrow. You know.
Yeah.
Like I feel like one of these days I'm gonna get sick of working, so I'm just gonna dig a hole. I'm gonna curl up inside that hole, and whenever anybody like knocks on the door of my hole and says, "Have you paid rent lately?" I'm just gonna hiss at them loudly, and go back in my hole.
Gunner's going to invoke squatters' rights just to stay wherever he is to retire. He's going to be like, fuck you, I'm not leaving, motherfucker.
Yeah. That's the Gen Z retirement plan is squatters' rights.
Trying to buy a house.
But it's all for like studio apartments in New York.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of people like, I'm not leaving this building.
That's your retirement plan. You're
We're
trying to
squatters'
save up
rights.
enough money to pay for a New York apartment for 5 months, and yeah,
then just
Establish,
sit.
yeah.
yeah. What?
Establish waters rights.
Yeah. That's all you need. Oh,
You can come live with me, Taylor. It's okay.
nice. That's good. That's good. I'll remind you. I have a clip of you saying that now. I'll just text
Ah, you
that
can.
to you,
You can.
and then you'll hear a
And-
knock at your door. Patrick, in what ways don't you trust yourself?
Fucking weird questions. All right.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that a... no.
You could have watched the show to get ready.
I watched some of it. I don't know. How do I not trust myself? I do not trust my comedic abilities. I'll say that much.
When you say that, do you mean that like is there anything specific? Are you like are you not very you don't have a lot of faith in your timing, or is it literally
I just
just
feel like I
knowing
bomb a
what's
lot.
funny or not? Okay. Fair enough.
But I don't know.
I also think you overthink what bombing is.
What do you qualify as a bomb, Patrick? How do you know that
If
you've
people
bombed?
aren't like audibly laughing, I think I
Okay.
bombed.
Okay.
That's the way I view it, anyways.
Okay.
Which I feel like is a fairly reasonable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're telling jokes and people are kind of like exhaling through their nostrils. You're not really
Feels
crushing.
right. Although I'll hear a lot of comics. There's a lot of comics. Like if you're at an open mic, it's a very common occurrence in my experience that like there's comics that I've been in. I've said the word comics so many times that you're in the room for their set. And you hear the room laughing at them, and then when you talk to them afterward, they literally didn't hear the laughs that you heard. They're like, it was really quiet in there, and you're like, no, there were a lot of people that were really laughing.
I'll
But I feel like
sometimes have that.
people can get enough in their head that it's like your sensory organs are literally just trying to zone out the rest of the room so that you can get through what you're trying to say. And I feel like there's a lot of comics that'll like have a pretty decent set that they'll remember as a really bad set because they literally didn't hear laughs that actually did happen.
Yeah, I feel like that happens to me a lot, you know.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
If it's not, I just suck.
Yeah. Otherwise, what are you doing on my podcast? No, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
shit.
Okay. Alina, I think it's your card.
Okay. Okay, Gunner. If you and only you could see one measurement or statistic over everyone's head, what would you want it to indicate?
Thank you. I love this card. If you and only you.
Okay. The percentage of chance they'll sleep with me. And there's a reason for that. It's not so I can sleep with people. It's because if they're willing to sleep with me, I can get things from them.
It's a pretty good rubric for
a
knowing.
manipulative
Yeah. How-
process. Yeah.
Because like too much information is gross and like too much to handle. So I'm like, I want something that benefits me and doesn't make me feel awful.
That's not a role that guys play a lot.
What?
Where they take advantage of a sexual relationship with a woman. Like,
I'm
Wait,
men too.
what?
I feel like the inverse
You wanna
happens more.
rephrase that
No,
sentence?
this is for everyone. No, like men too.
Men
like,
take advantage.
No,
of
and I
that.
will look at
No,
like,
yes, yes. Sorry, I missed.
Patrick's a silly little boy.
If somebody wants to have sex with somebody and that person is not having sex with them, that person can take advantage of them, or even if they are having sex with them, that person can take advantage. Like a dude can take advantage of a woman in that way very easily.
Yeah.
Not to
Too late
not to
not
counter
release this one.
Yeah. This is an unedited show. Listen, it's all part of it. Okay. I'll do something less charismatic than that later on the show to
Probably not.
install it, and I'll totally say that it was so that I could make Patrick feel better. So just remember, when I do that
I'm
really
sorry.
uncharismatic thing later, it was to save Patrick. What? Why are you sorry?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to pile on the rebuttal and just repeat. the
Oh, no,
rebuttal.
I
No, that
misworded
was
what
good.
I was not wording well what I was trying to say. So just
Anybody have any other thoughts on statistics floating over people's heads? Pat, if you could see one statistic, what would you want?
I have no idea.
Alina, anything that you would want to see over people's heads if you got one thing?
I just know what I would not want to see, which is like an aggregate of their social media likes. And I just would
hilarious.
not want to see that.
Yeah.
because I just seen enough of it. I feel like it just stresses everyone out enough already that it would.
Fair enough.
But I can't think of what I would like to see. Like how, I don't know.
How many steps they walked that day? You mean, oh, you lazy piece of shit. Or like, whoa,
Yeah.
you're busy.
How many steps?
Maybe their heart rate, then you can intervene. If
Ooh.
You could tell if they're lying.
Yeah.
yeah, or if there's some kind of like health problem that you
Oh
have.
yeah, that too.
Yeah, like if you can like predict someone's having a heart attack and they give me $500, I'll call a call an ambulance for you.
Gunner's like, I want to see how likely someone is to have a heart attack. Not so I can help them, but so I can get stuff from them. I don't know. Oh, just save Patrick.
I knew you were going to
It's
say
not
that
working.
too.
Patrick, it's
I was
your
waiting for
card.
that.
It's my poem. All right.
I think.
Taylor, what's your biggest obstacle towards peace?
My CIA clone that I keep seeing around. No. Biggest obstacle towards peace. I don't think that there are a lot of like huge obstacles towards me having some kind of peace. I think that I'm the main problem of just like refusing to feel it. You know. Like I think that if I just like accurately assessed how much my friends care about me and blah 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 blah
You just
blah,
listen
that
to
I'd
the
be like,
Beatles
you know
more.
what, I should feel better. Usually,
All we are saying is give peace a chance, man.
yeah. Give peace a nice. Yeah. Hey Gunner, you want to draw a card so I can stop talking about how much of a piece of shit I am?
Hey yo.
Because the whole inner peace deficit thing. Because I just keep forcing
Taylor,
my
you
friends to
do
talk
really
about the
have a
childhood
podcast.
traumas. I do really have a podcast. It's true.
Taylor, what problems do you see in the relationships of those around you?
What problems do I see in the relationships of those around me? I've answered this card way too many times. To
Oh yeah,
feel good
I think
about
people really care about your opinion on that.
it. You know, true. Lack of asking questions. Lack of asking questions. I think that a lot of people in relationships will complain about communication issues, and I think that a lot of when people are in relationships that feel like there is bad communication, it's because they're not like voluntarily being told things, and that a really quick patch for that, if the person that you're complaining about isn't quite willing to change yet, you can kind of patch temporarily by just asking more questions. Which is a really horrible answer to that question.
Come on to all the marbles. You'll ask all the questions you need.
Yeah, true.
This is a therapy
If you
podcast,
haven't-
folks.
Taylor's a fan of asking questions, not of answering them, but he's come to the realization that they should be asked more.
Terry is?
Taylor.
Oh, Taylor. I was
Yeah,
gonna say
Terry Richardson.
Like
I was talking to Terry Richardson about asking and answering questions the other day. Shout out, come on the show.
hanging out near the Johnny's homeless camp.
Nice.
Jeez.
Sorry, Terry.
Okay, Alina, what difficult or painful experience would you recommend to everyone?
Difficult or painful experience I would recommend to everyone.
Yes.
Finding a movie, whether it's like a documentary or about like really like abject things that you don't know about
Okay.
already, or that you do know about, or finding a movie like Grave of the Fireflies.
That movie's rough.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And
Jesus Christ.
Just bracing yourself for the fact that you're gonna have a serious emotional experience watching it, but not the same kind of emotional experience that the people did who made it or went through whatever it is you're watching, and just allowing yourself to have an emotional reaction while you're watching it, like fully immerse yourself in it and allow yourself to just like sob through a really difficult film that teaches you about something.
Sounds like a good Wednesday night. I'll probably give that a shot.
Yeah, if you're ready for it, if it's the right night of the week and you're braced for it, but not just to put it on randomly.
We're all gonna find out Thursday that Gunner's killed himself. It's gonna be
You should tell people to watch that as like a happy, uplifting film, and then have everybody go home and watch Grave of the Fireflies.
They're like, yeah, it's a cute movie. Watch it with your kids. How young Pat, how young were you the first time that like you were like traumatized by a film? Like the first time that you were like crying at a movie, like you felt a piece of yourself die.
Is crying the trauma, or is it like seeing like Saw kind of a trauma more?
I feel like either can work. Either can work.
I never really watched like horror movies.
When were
I was
you
growing
first
up.
deeply moved in a very negative way by a movie?
I was really weirded out by like the Tim Burton claymation movies for a while.
Ooh.
Like I couldn't. It was too much for me visually. I don't know what it was, but it kind of freaked me out.
I remember
Like Coraline was probably like the first one where I was like, what
Oh,
the
yeah.
fuck?
Coraline is so good.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Like it's an unequivocally great film. Like I'm not.
I didn't see Coraline until I was like 19, and it was
Still
a very
not
good
seen
movie.
it.
You still haven't seen it?
Read
dude?
the book.
Dude, the book's also great. The film is it's a really good adaptation, and it's like a stop motion. It's
No, I love Neil Gaiman.
brilliant. Yeah, Neil Gaiman's great. Did you watch that Netflix Sandman?
I saw the first few episodes.
Read the books?
I've read the. I own.
Oh,
the,
yeah.
I own almost every like version of the book,
Nice.
minus the omnibus and a handful of the new prints that they're doing.
Neil Gaiman fans at all? Other
Yeah, I
we fall for
read
Neil
some
Gaiman
stuff.
fanship in the
I
Lawrence
know.
comedy scene.
I've read one of his books, but I can't remember. It was about like a graveyard,
Nice.
and there were like kids there. That's all I remember. No,
It's funny. My head went to the same place.
That's funny.
God, I can't remember what it was now. But yeah, I have read a Neil Gaiman book. I just don't remember it now.
Fair enough. Big Neil Gaiman fan at all, Alina?
I read, I think, Demons versus Angels,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
I think maybe like the first chapter of The Sandman, but I'm not a huge Neil Gaiman.
There's a good Sandman
Look up what
audio
it was.
play on Audible.
Audible. Yep.
Yep. And they just came out with the second part
That's true.
recently. Months.
Yeah. It's a good time. Okay, whose card is it? Alina, I think it's your card.
It was called The Graveyard Book. That was the name
The
of the book.
Graveyard
The Graveyard
Book.
Book. That's what it was
Interesting.
called. Yeah.
Okay, Taylor, would you rather double the amount of emotional pain and pleasure you feel on a daily basis, or cut both in half?
Double the amount of emotional pain and pleasure. Probably double, because like and I would complain forever about that choice, but I think I would probably double it, just like, in so much as if we're gonna mean what we say when we say that, you know what, the point of life isn't just to be happy, and both being happy and being whatever the opposite of happy is, I haven't experienced it yet. The are both just as meaningful parts of life. The question would basically boil down then to, you want to live more or live less, right? Like if it's and so you
Isn't
gotta
that basically what bipolar is?
That's what I was about
Fair
to
enough,
say.
yeah. So you're opting into.
Yeah.
kind of. It's a deregulation.
Sort of?
No,
It's a
maybe.
dysrhythmic mood
It's
disorder.
I mean,
yeah,
is
it's a
it kind of-
dysregulation. It's a dysregulation of things. But like if the card isn't telling me you're going to get bipolar 1, if the card is just saying
You'll become
when you feel any normal emotion, you're not gonna have like just whenever you feel any emotion, it's gonna be amplified by double or whatever. Then I'd probably still say yeah, and then wring my hands for the rest of time over my stupidity, but still pressing the button. Okay.
Yeah, because I have bipolar 1, and I was
Fair.
just thinking that's exactly what doubling pleasure
Yeah.
and pain every day is
Interesting.
exactly what it sounds like.
Fair enough. Yeah. That was to save Patrick. Okay.
That was a fine answer. Before we go to the next question,
Yes.
Taylor, are you blind right now?
Am I blind right now? No. There's bright lights, dude. I can see
No, I
everything.
mean like because you wear every time I see you, you're in glasses, and I don't.
Oh, I'm blind. Yeah, no, I am seeing less right now. These are not
Right.
prescription glasses. Yeah.
So every time you podcast, can you see faces?
I'm near. So yeah, I can see everyone's faces at the table. I can see like Patrick. I think is the least clear, and he's just a little blurry. Like
Nice.
I know what faces Ani is making from the couch, but like I wouldn't be able to tell you what color her eyes are or anything. You
Yeah.
know, like yeah,
But you can't do that with glasses on.
maybe. Anyway. Did anyone else like get when you were like younger get weirded out by contact lenses because they you can't see pupil dilation as well, like the pupils of the people seem to stay the same size if they're colored contacts. Anyone else get
No,
bothered by that? No, just
That
me?
wasn't the reason I got bothered by contacts. The thought of, I never needed glasses or contacts, but the thought of
Humble
touching
brag.
their eye is what freaked me out about
Gotcha.
contacts. But I can see that.
That too.
Being
That too.
disturbing, not seeing dilation.
Started wearing contacts in like the 5th grade.
Yeah. How was it?
Fine. I mean,
Nice.
It was weird and had a lot of trouble with it, and I don't know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Gunner.
What's
oh.
up?
No, never mind.
Okay. You sure? Okay.
Yes.
Gunner.
Yep.
What about your appearance would you like to change?
Oh man, that's a tough one. So
It's a
much.
sad question.
I know. Oh, we fuck you with the music again. It's distracting. I don't know.
Oh, is it distracting?
I'm pretty okay with how I look. I don't know
Nice.
what I would like to change most, if anything.
You wouldn't want to be taller or anything. You don't want to.
I see. Like,
You wouldn't want wings. You wouldn't want wings.
I mean, if we're going there, still no, because then maybe. Because no, I feel like I'm fine with my height. I've always been just
You wouldn't want like wacky colored eyes or anything.
fine with my eye color.
Okay.
Maybe my
You-
hair different.
You want any statistics hovering over your head? If everyone could see one statistic over your head, Gunner.
Percentage I'd sleep with him.
You've just erased Tinder.
Pretty good. Yeah. How does that? Do you have to be like making eye contact with? Do you have to be looking at the person? Like,
Yeah.
Or is it
It's eye
tailored to the-
contact.
Okay, gotcha. Nice.
It's a form. It's a mix. I mean, of
Okay.
eye contact, direct vision, line of sight, and then like intention.
So when
behind-
you're making eye contact with someone.
yeah.
Okay.
But then they have to be making eye contact with me, so they can't
True.
glance. They can never
Ah,
see
so
the
they
number.
they can just see that the number
Yeah.
is there. They
Yeah.
can kind of make
in the
out.
periphery. Yeah.
They know what it's for, but every time they go to check it, it just disappears.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. It's a good time. That's a good time. Alina, I think it's your card.
Good.
Oh, no pressure. We're brought to you by Pretzels, guys. Get yours today.
Patrick, would you prefer to date someone 20 IQ points higher than you or 5 IQ points lower than you?
Probably 20 IQ points higher.
I was about to say, once you drop below 80, I don't. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
Good
kidding.
point. That's a good point. I mean, look, somebody's got to do something.
20 higher. That's a big split.
It's a pretty fair. I mean, and you get into IQs and made up and racist and all that nonsense, but like,
Yeah.
It's also not a great measurement of
Yeah.
like human
Actual-
like interaction as a couple.
I just like
I'm
intelligence in
Benet.
general. What?
Alfred Benet founded the IQ test in France to
Interesting.
identify students who were falling behind, not necessarily intelligent.
Right.
But they got rid of a lot of the. I'm not going to info dump, but they got rid of a lot of the like there's no information on the IQ test about what books you've read and things like that.
Yeah.
Because he was afraid
Yeah.
that was going to have to do with your like cultural upbringing or your socioeconomic status. But your ability to do matrices or logic tests also has to do with your cultural upbringing and your
Social status.
social status and socioeconomic status. So it's a really confusing test.
He tried, guys.
Yeah.
Not very hard, apparently.
You think we'll find a cure for IQ tests in the next 20 years, Gunner?
Yeah, I think we already have them.
Yeah? What do you think it is? What's the pure
Guns.
for? Get yours today.
You can get a very cheap M1 Garand in 1911 from the civilian something firearm group. I was talking about it with someone last night.
Really?
Yeah. Civilian something.
Would you be worried that dating someone 20 IQ points higher than you, that they might be condescending occasionally? Because that's what I would worry
Well,
about.
they'd just be an asshole. They would just be an asshole. I want someone 20 IQ points higher and nice to me.
I don't want to date someone who's occasionally condescending.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess that wouldn't be great, but like, I don't know. I mean, you'd probably be learning a lot from them.
It's true.
Yeah, but you'd feel bad the entire time doing it.
Would you?
I mean,
I've kind of accepted that I'm an idiot. So
Yeah, because every time you ask them to explain something, they sigh and roll their eyes, okay? And then they
Yeah.
pat you on the head when they finish
And
telling
you'll get there. You'll get there. It took me a few weeks to understand this. It might take you a few months. It's fine.
They're like, I'll tell you when you're older.
Yeah.
Patrick, I think it's your card.
all right, here we go. All right, Taylor, describe your usual type.
A usual type.
Favorite font?
Married man. Let us know.
Arial bold. Arial bold. I like Arial bold. I like to keep it at a 14 point Arial bold. Lets me feel better about my page count. Because if you use 12, you gotta type more words. Okay? Times New Roman. Very economic use of the space. Horrible for driving a page count. Okay? You could have a 20-page script with Arial bold. It's gonna be 12 pages on Times New Roman. Don't do that. Don't do that. You'll kill yourself.
So
Like
would you want
Hemingway.
your counterpart to use like 20 points higher, like font size?
Yeah, I like them nearsighted. Okay, that's that's what I like. Okay, Gunnar, I like a nearsighted lady to condescend to me. Gunnar, I think it's your card.
It is. What are these white ones?
White questions are sad.
Oh,
Sad.
let's go with green. I'm sure that's a happy question.
Green is intellectual.
So not happy. Patrick, which of your beliefs would be the most
Indeed.
difficult to change, even in the face of overwhelming evidence?
Which one of my beliefs
Yeah, it would be the most
would be
difficult
the
to change,
most difficult to
even
change?
in the face of overwhelming evidence.
That he totally just bombed, guys. Okay.
That's kind of silly. I mean, I don't know. Like, if there's overwhelming evidence against what my belief is, it's probably fucking wrong.
Yeah, yeah. So what are you most like? So what's a belief that you'd like feel the saddest to have to let go, even if you're not refusing to stop believing in it? What would feel the most like having accidentally let go of your balloon when you were 5, like as you watch it fly away into the ether that you just found out didn't exist?
I don't really feel like I have too many like hard line positions
Okay. Fair enough.
that I would feel like sad to let go.
Gotcha. So just the Israel stuff.
Fuck. Jesus God. Yeah, I mean, I don't really feel like there's much that like I would be pretty surprised if some of my opinions were like. I would be pretty astounded if there was like evidence that like evolution didn't happen or something. Like that
Nice.
would like
Interesting.
astound me to an
Yeah.
extent that I'd be like.
You find
what
out the Earth
hell?
is 6,000 years old. and you're
Right, like
what?
that would be like a wild one, or like if somebody came out and was able to disprove climate change, like actually, like then I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I need to reevaluate some stuff. But like,
Yeah. Gotta stop sorting these cans.
I mean, with incontrovertible evidence, I don't really feel like there's any reason to like.
Valid.
It also depends on how like strong your evidence is. Like personal feelings don't really count as evidence. You know what I mean? Like
True.
I'm assuming we're talking about it in like a scientific sense.
Yeah. Probably.
All right.
Yeah, I think we got that one. This one's kind of on the same theme. Hey, Alina, do you feel that you have conscious control over your beliefs? ? Could you, right now, decide to believe something else if you tried? And if so, what beliefs?
I don't know, not to sound like pretentious, because I haven't even like finished my undergrad in philosophy yet, so it takes some time, but like the idea within metaphysics is that these are your underlying beliefs and they have to be questioned in order for you to know that they're like valid, but we have a ton of underlying beliefs that build up like into our ethics that start on a metaphysical level, that a lot of them are unconscious, that we don't think to question at all. So I think like tons of my beliefs are unconscious, and it would take a really long time, like a lifetime, to
like
question
identify
and
them,
identify
let
and
alone,
find,
yeah.
or like when you have like biased heuristics in your mind that you use to like immediately make decisions, it would take a really long time, if not a lifetime, to figure out how many heuristics you're employing in general and question those, and like then to remove those might be close to impossible because it's part of how we like make decisions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. Thoughts, Gunner? You got a lot of unconscious beliefs, Gunner.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure
List
I do.
them.
Still believe there's a monster under my bed somehow.
Yeah. Ah, dude. When is the how old were you the last time that you like actually feared for your safety from an unknown presence underneath your bed?
Last week.
Nice.
I don't know. That's a very
was
good
just me.
question. Yeah.
I told you I wouldn't hurt you.
It was.
Okay, so Alina's gone to the bathroom, and whenever someone goes to the bathroom, we have to gossip about them. Hey, Patrick Merchant, what was your first interaction with Alina that you can remember, or first time you remember seeing her perform?
I remember she was
one.
doing songs,
Nice.
and I remember thinking that was pretty unique stuff. You know,
Hell
like
yeah.
it wasn't what a lot of other people do, which is kind of sick. Like it's pretty cool to be like, oh, it's a totally different sort of
Yeah.
thing. I mean, it was at Murph's, if I remember right.
Yeah, probably. Nice.
Got her.
First time I ran into her was at Mercy's on the patio. Then for the longest time, you just kept saying, "Dude, you have to talk to Alina. Dude, you have to talk to Alina. Dude, do you know Alina? Yeah,
She's
you have to
brilliant.
talk to her." Yeah. Next time, I think it was at a writers group
Nice.
in Lawrence. I think she showed up to one. I didn't even know she was in the group chat, and she just showed up one day, and I was like, "Hey, you're Alina." She's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Do you remember?" She's like, "No, I'm sorry." And I was like, "Yeah, Taylor keeps saying I need to get to know you." He's like, "Oh, you knew Taylor? He's so nice." And I think verbatim the first like 30
Crazy.
seconds of our conversation.
Crazy. Interesting.
Taylor.
Oh, the first
Oh,
time I
you
saw Alina
figuring
perform,
it out of this?
she was doing jokes about cat collars and how it would be a lot better if you had jazz cat collars. If a cat collar popped out of an alley with an upright bass, and there was like a whole act out, and it was very funny. And I think the second time that I saw her perform, she was doing songs. It was very funny. Very funny songs, very funny bits, very funny jokes. Good material. Well, we exhausted that before she got back. So, whose card is it?
It was. I don't know who's pulling it. I was talking about fearing
it's
for my
Alina's
life
card.
from monsters.
Oh,
under the
yeah,
bed.
yeah. Monsters
I
Under the
don't
Bed.
know.
How old were you the last time that happened?
Maybe like 15.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
late because it was not just monsters on the bed. My parents were on vacation. I lived in a very large house.
So there was like some anxiety of like
Yeah.
a home intruder.
And then I went home one night and I forgot to lock the door. I realized, and so I came home to the door unlocked, and I was very curious. Like I thought I locked that, and then I went through the house, and it
Interesting.
was fine.
Nice.
But there was still some underlying like anxiety going to sleep that night. That like I missed something and it was near me. So I'd say I remember that vividly, and I think that was like the last legitimate time I had a fear of like people under my bed or in my space.
Yeah. Valid. Pat, do you remember how old you were when you... Did you ever have the monster under the bed thing?
I don't think so. I was a pretty
Rational child.
I was more of a...
I was a pretty scared little kid, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I could psych myself out over like something being in my closet pretty
I
easily.
could still psych myself out over something being in my closet
Nah.
if I like tried hard enough.
Nah.
Yeah.
You have conscious control over the belief that
Yeah.
someone's
Well,
in your
like
closet,
if you talk
Patrick.
yourself into it enough, you can like gaslight yourself into believing that there's something in there that's gonna come out and get you.
That's valid. That's
And you
valid.
just stay up all night
Yeah.
on melatonin.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
crazy visuals.
Dude, shit's nuts.
Thoughts on things that go bump in the night, Alina?
I never really got afraid of monsters under the bed, but people breaking in yet. I get scared still about the thought of people breaking in or people being in when I'm at my parents' different parts of their house or even at my apartment, which is rather small. I get frightened of either people breaking in or people already like
Interesting.
being there and me not seeing them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There was a movie about that, of like a.
Parasite with Bong Joon-ho. But I was like, what if I was under the impression like, what if I, because I'm in a very small apartment,
Yeah.
what if there's someone living parallel to me in an incredibly small space?
Thank you again, Ani, for running craft service.
Thank you.
It's incredible.
These are raspberry, blueberry, lemon bars.
This looks absolutely delicious.
They're-
Thank you so much. I'm all right. Thank you.
There,
I could use a little if you don't mind again.
there we go.
Yes, appreciate you. This is delicious also.
Ah. Alina, I think we're on your card when you get them all.
These are absolutely amazing.
Aren't they?
Thank you so much.
The real reason people come on the podcast, folks, is for the food, okay?
Who's not gotten a question in a while?
I don't think Patrick's been asked anything.
Patrick, when's the first time you fell in love?
Ooh. How old to how old?
19 to 21.
Nice. Classic.
Pretty great.
It's pretty great.
I ain't gonna lie.
Out of 5 stars.
Well, it was a solid 4.5.
Nice.
Good, good shit.
Good deal,
Yep.
good deal.
I was 10. Her name's Lexi Carter. If you can find her, be cool.
I'm trying to. My name's Carmen San Diego. If anybody knows, anyone can tell me where she is. Oh,
She was blonde, lived in Katy, Texas. Went to a church with me. Trying to get, she's tallish. Probably
Tallish?
5'9". If anyone can find her, good.
nice.
Probably 28, 29, 30 years old.
Who's a missing person?
To me,
Pack of milk
What the rest
cartons.
of the comics at the table don't know is there's an active Amber Alert. Patrick, I think you go. Unless you want to talk about falling in love when you were 19, Mark.
I'm good.
Identifying features.
Taylor, what's the most significant thing you've changed your mind about? Bestiality being immoral?
I don't know how significant that is.
Depends on what you're doing with your weekends.
Ani, this is one of the best things I've eaten in a while. Thank
I know. No, this is incredible.
It's pretty great. It's pretty great. I think one of the most significant things that I've changed my mind about is something that I change my mind about frequently, but it's about whether Ani should be making food for this podcast or not. It's a roller coaster ride. It's a roller coaster ride, folks. Right now, I'm very pro. This is very good. This is very good food. Gunnar, I think it's your card.
Oh.
But you say that like you resent me dodging questions. No, I'm kidding.
You're very coy about it. It's a legitimate skill. Mm-hmm. You force upon people difficult questions you build a rapport with them,
we're
so they like you,
relitigating
and
this.
so then like they feel obligated to answer, and then they feel good about talking, and then they're like, man, I had a really good conversation with Taylor, and they just talked a lot, and then you just laugh like that as you walk away.
I'm just putting sunglasses on as I walk away, and the person is,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not the conversationalist you deserve. The one you need. No, it's gonna be the most narcissistic thing I say on the podcast. Okay, guys, we're gonna tone it back for the next hour and a half.
Promise?
No.
Lena, name 3 things you think you need in order to be happy.
Ooh.
It seems a little too I mean, just food, shelter, water, base necessities. So I can't think beyond that.
Food, shelter, water is a pretty solid 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever see like the Facebook posts that are like, here's a list of things, you get one of them free for the rest of your life. It's like,
Shelter.
Gas, rent, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, rent is usually what, right? Yeah. Yeah.
It's very expensive.
Yeah.
I could buy a lot of food.
Buy a lot of food for, yeah.
I'd be like, but if it's free food, anything, then food, and then
Right, yeah, if you
then
had-
go to restaurants,
if your food budget for the month
is
could
unlimited.
be as much as, or even if it was just as much as whatever you're paying right now in rent, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, pretty kind of nice. Yeah. Food, shelter,
Anyways,
water, folks.
you look at those Facebook
important.
posts, and you're a big follower of those beliefs.
I look at those Facebook posts
To
and then I
laugh at.
unfollow those people, and then I refollow them after I've eaten some food. Patrick, in what ways are you inhibited from expressing love?
In what ways am I inhibited from expressing love?
Yes.
I don't really know. Like, I don't know. I feel kind of uncomfortable opening up to people. This podcast has been really fucking rough.
That's what it's for.
You begged to be on here.
I feel
Well, I
like
didn't
such
wanna
an
say
idiot. I feel like such a fucking dumbass. Oh my god. I did not realize how uncomfortable this was going to be. I also watched all these episodes and I got to the end of it. Dude, I got to the end and I was like, all right, I'll be fine if I don't get any of these cards. And then I got every fucking card that I did not want.
Watches the podcast. Okay, I think I'll be fine as long as I don't get asked any of the questions that they asked on the podcast. I love that.
Dude, I would have been totally fine with like most of these questions. And
Fair
then I was
enough.
like, fuck.
But
How
in
am
what
I
ways you're inhibited
showing
from
love?
expressing love? Yeah. Shout out to Patrick's girlfriend and parents.
Here he's single right now.
I am very single.
Price cuts.
Well, by the time this airs, who knows what could happen?
Oh yeah, there's
This
some,
doesn't post till tomorrow.
It doesn't get posted
there's
until
been
tomorrow.
some.
How's your text life, Patrick?
Non-existent.
Whose hoodie are you wearing, Patrick?
Before the show, Gunnar was doing a little running bit that he kept asking me not to tell anyone he was doing. Anytime Patrick and Ani would interact, he would bump my shoulder and say, "They're such a cute couple."
That's not what I said.
They'd make such a cute couple.
That's not what I said.
It was
I
pretty
said-
close to that.
It was, but I didn't use the word couple or great.
What?
Oh no, I used the word great. I said they had great
thought you used-
chemistry.
I thought you used the word couple.
Maybe once. I
Oh,
did
yeah.
do that bit multiple times.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I think it's funny. I think it's good. I think it's good. And Patrick was uncomfortable enough there that I just wanted to
And I know, and
betray Gunner's
And then I
confidence
was like,
to try to
Taylor,
even
you
the
have to
table
promise
out
me.
a little.
You have to promise me. Never tell a soul.
And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
you
bro,
didn't.
I
You
would
didn't
never-
say anything.
I
No,
would
I
never-
knew. I
would
knew you
never.
were
can
immediately going
trust
to tell
me.
you. You didn't agree to anything. You just sat there and you're like, No, I know you.
That's valid. You know me.
Or I know you're.
That's fair.
You're,
No, that's valid.
how
No,
you-
no.
I don't know you. You've never. You
know
I
everything
like
about
three-
me.
I know
You know everything about me.
4 things. I don't even know your full name.
You don't?
No.
Is this a judo move to get me to trick? Are you tricking me into telling you my middle name?
No. Don't need to know.
Because I've never keep it secret. I feel like we're not letting Patrick talk.
Patrick. I
In
feel
what
like
ways am I
he's
inhibited
thankful.
from showing love? Yeah. I don't know. Like, I feel like sometimes I'm not always myself when I'm
Okay.
with people, and it feels weird. Like, to be totally yourself around people that you
Yeah.
like want to like you is a hard thing, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, it's kind of a weird thing to be like, hey, I tell jokes occasionally.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's in my act,
Yeah.
but you know,
Rarely though.
yeah. There's a lot of filler.
That was a big piece of uncomfortability for me when I was like, when I was in love between the ages of 19 to 21. You know, having someone around you that like, because like the younger you are, I feel. Hopefully this is the thing that tapers off with age. But the younger you are, I feel the more likely you are to have different patterns of action dependent on what social group you're in, right? But like if you're with this group of friends, you're gonna morph to like fit like whatever niche you're filling in that group. And if you're with a different group and you're filling a different niche, you not that you are different people, but you'll seem different or whatever. And so the first time that you get into a relationship where like you have an extra person who's with you between groups and is noticing that difference in you and starting to be able to connect the dots for, okay, what's the connective tissue between how you conduct yourself to an audience. It's just a very strange extra level of intimacy that teenagers are not prepared for.
Right.
But yeah, maybe. I don't know. Related at all, Patrick?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
That would.
we all do like the social grouping thing. I'm trying to work on like not being myself, I guess.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to work on not being myself. That's the yeah.
I'm trying to be more myself.
Trying to be more myself is I guess what I was trying to say.
Yeah, no, I was doing it.
He's doing a bit.
Let's see.
Oh, he hates himself.
It's okay.
And his own podcast.
He's on the well. That's why. It's because of this gross grandiosity.
Masochist?
Yeah. Well,
This grandiosity
that
as I
far.
look around.
no, I'm a sadist, but I only enjoy inflicting pain on myself. Like I'm not a masochist in as much as I don't enjoy when other people inflict pain onto me. I'm a sadist, but I'm a monogamous sadist, and I'm in a monogamous sadistic relationship with myself. You know.
I see.
Yeah.
It's also narcissism. It's a monogamous sadist.
What's up?
If you're a monogamous sadist, you're also a masochist.
Kind of, but it's a monogamous.
If you're a monogamous
masochism, too.
sadist with
Yeah.
yourself, you're a narcissistic masochist sadist
Yes.
in a monogamous relationship. Automasochist.
Automasochist.
I have no idea what's being talked about right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Me either.
Masochist inflicted pain on yourself.
Yeah.
Well,
Ani, did you take Latin ever?
yes, I'm getting the self-inflicting pain. I'm not getting where narcissism and then.
Because he's in a relationship with himself. So
Well, we're all in a
the
relationship
first
with
moniker
ourselves.
to like six.
So it's like a
different-
self-loathing relationship sort of thing
Kind of. Yeah.
with yourself.
But it's
You're in an
grandiose
abusive
because like you're
relationship with yourself.
so deserving of your own attention, but in the negative. Thank you, Alina. I think it's your card.
Okay. All right.
Boom, boom.
Who hasn't been asked in a while?
Patrick, probably.
You should
Patrick.
keep on asking me. All right, here we go.
I love this.
All right, I'm about to derail this whole fucking podcast.
Let's go.
Best way to let someone down easy.
For Patrick's getting all of the super like
Jesus Christ.
personal romantic
Oh God damn it.
dynamics questions.
Any other category would be perfectly fine with me.
You're single. This should be the best time to ask you any of
Yeah,
this.
it's actually not that bad. But and the best way to let somebody down, just be like honest and just be like, hey, like
You're a piece of shit and I don't like you.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's how you feel about somebody. I don't get all of this like, nah, you're really cool, it's not you. It's like the save face crap. Like if you really don't like somebody, just be like, hey, I'm not vibing. You know.
Absolutely.
Because like there are some people who are just assholes. Like that's fine. Like you don't have to be like a dick about it, but you can be like, hey, like, you know, move it on.
Yeah.
Go into greener pastures, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I let
like
down
the
my
bluer
parents a lot.
pastures.
This is really a parental thing more than a
How do you let your parents
romantic
down
thing. I
easy?
feel like I let them down a lot.
Do comedy.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like that's
Right.
probably the most disappointing like letdown that I've had like to give somebody in my life.
Oh,
It's
that's,
like,
that's
hey
a
guys,
new life hack. New life hack just dropped.
I tell
You want to
jokes.
get rid of someone? Just have them come out to an open mic and watch you perform. I never considered this. That's so good, Patrick. I think it's your card.
All right,
You can't be asked a question this time.
thank God. Gunner, are there any thoughts so offensive that you would advocate shaming those who think them, even if they don't act on those thoughts?
Shaming's a harsh thing to do on someone just for having thoughts, especially if they're comfortable enough to come out with them to you. I mean, but then again, but those are more geared towards.
Big no map advocate. No? Okay. Continue.
Don't even. I don't know. I've lost
Okay.
my train of thought.
Gotcha.
No, I just
Fair
don't
enough.
think it's. I mean, sure. I don't
Shaming's
know.
a bit harsh.
Shaming is harsh. I mean, I think there should be some times when we bring back shame. I mean, I'm advocate actually for bringing back shame, but
This
just-
podcast is evidence.
Welcome to the shame box.
But shame is not very constructive, and I also try to be quite constructive in most things I do.
Why?
It reads better. It's just being more positive.
Because I can get more out of people.
No, it does take things further. I mean, like if you really like someone and
True.
don't like everything about them, like you can have productive conversations and stuff to move to a place that maybe you can work it out together in other ways too. But yeah, no, I don't
If you
know.
don't skip straight to bullying.
Yeah,
I gotta try that.
yeah.
One of these days. We'll get around to it. Okay. Gunnar, I think it's your card.
Okay.
Unless you weren't done talking about I don't want to cut you off.
No, please do.
But why?
When don't you? Oh.
Got him.
Patrick, best recipe for success.
Best recipe for success? I am finding that, guys. What makes you think I'm the chef that's cooking success?
Are you falsifying your research information?
All of it.
Here, that's one of the most valued. What was that? The gender, like you can test your blood with the blood prick.
Theranos.
Oh,
Fair enough.
fucking Elizabeth Holmes.
She was successful.
She was successful.
She's in
Was
prison.
she?
Went to jail.
Yeah,
Is that a definition?
Was.
was.
She's in prison and
I
she's
mean,
paying Rupert
have
Murdoch.
have a definition of success that suits what you want and not what everybody else is looking for.
Recipes for success: butter, sugar, flour, chocolate chips.
Shelter, food, water.
Cookies.
Oh fuck, you're right. I get those two confused.
Yeah.
Successful cookies, though.
They are successful.
Pretty good. All right. Alina, what do you think enlightenment is?
I have no idea. I feel like enlightenment. If you're looking at the Enlightenment era, I don't know what historical period that was. I have no knowledge on this. If you have like an Eastern theological basis of enlightenment, it's like reaching some kind of like meditative state and high and ability to like withhold your own desires and become like almost like a ascetic badass that finds like meaning through non-material means would be my idea. Or yeah, I have no idea.
Nice. We would also accept it 5 hits of DMT. No, okay.
I wouldn't do 5 hits.
How many hits did you go?
Hits. You hit it like 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do it 5
You wouldn't do
times.
5 trips?
I wouldn't do it 5 times, and when you do it, you feel like you're dying. It's
Yeah.
really uncomfortable.
Interesting.
I was very comfortable. I thought I was dying, and I thought it was a great experience. And I was like, man, if this is dying, I'm here for it. It was a genuinely amazing
yeah.
experience. I was like, yeah, I'm ready for death. And then I lost that, and now I think that was 10 years ago, and I'm like, I should do 5.
Do 5 trips. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I should
everybody
do-
has a
what-
different
you
They call it
experience.
chasing the dragon.
Yeah.
No.
No, maybe like 100 milligrams or micrograms or whatever it's measured in right now.
Fair enough.
I think it's micrograms. It's like less than a
Yeah,
milligram.
it's micrograms. Alina, I think it's your card
You should
again.
do 100 milligrams.
Yeah. I don't
100
think I don't
milliliters.
think there's coming back from that.
100 milliliters of ayahuasca.
Okay, Patrick.
Before she said it too.
Regardless of your support or personal feelings, does your subconscious view trans-identifying people as closer to their birth or current gender?
What?
All right, Patrick.
So do I look at like
In front of your
trans people
parents
as
and future
identify-
girlfriend.
Yes, regardless of your on the top view.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think of trans people as whatever gender that they've transitioned to.
That's true.
Nice.
When somebody like, I mean,
Humble brag.
sometimes it's hard to tell like just visually, but like if somebody specifies that they're part of a certain gender identity, I think that's
Nice.
I respect that.
Nice.
That's all I got to say about that.
So what was that stuff you were saying before we went recording? What was that stuff you were saying before? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Taylor, I'm about to not let you release this fucking podcast. Dude, I've been sitting here for the last 45 seconds Jesus God, this can never go online.
Interesting. Oh, dude, it can. YouTube's terms of service is so fucking good,
Okay.
dude.
Okay, maybe
they
it can
come in
for
clutch.
everybody
They come
else.
in clutch as long as Patrick, I think it's your turn to draw a card.
All right, can I not? I'm not going to ask myself a question now, are we?
Yeah. Well, you could.
All right. See, this would be fun. This is a fun question. You know what I mean? Look at this fucking question. That's a fun question to answer. That's a fun get to know you. It's right here. It's just, oh, Taylor, why don't we ask you? Oh, what's the most interesting fact that few people about you know about?
God,
you?
I hate that question. What the fuck? You would like this question?
Way more than when did you fall in love?
Why didn't you ask yourself? I'd rather talk about the first time I fell in love than think of an interesting fact about
should
me
have
that few
specified
people
what-
know.
I should have specified what card piles I wanted people to draw for me.
Well, if you want to announce your preferred.
No, I'm
Color.
going to
What's your
announce now.
preferred
We already
color?
know what they are.
Our subconsciouses will try to identify you as a
my
personal
God.
question, and most interesting fact about me that few people know. I don't know.
Shitty pancreas.
Like gallbladder. I don't have a gallbladder. I don't have a gallbladder.
Oh.
Yeah. I got taken out because it tried to kill me in 2019 because I ate an entire bag of Reese's white chocolate eggs while I watched the disappointing finale of Game of Thrones.
You tried to kill it first.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, you didn't like that question
was
because it
self-defense.
was too.
Well, just because I'm retarded and I can't think of an interesting fact about me that also few people would know. Like I don't keep track. I'm a cagey enough person that like it's a weirdly Sisyphean task to like filter out. Okay, what do people know about me?
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Congratulations on surviving your own gallbladder.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a lovely stay in the hospital, and I played a lot of Darkest Dungeon and tried fentanyl.
How was that?
I listened to some Lana Del Rey. It was mostly disappointing. Yeah. This episode's brought to you by fentanyl. It's okay.
Patrick. No.
It's a yellow card. It's a yellow card.
Yeah,
Same
yeah,
color
yeah.
as the card that he
All right,
loved.
we do
What
have
are
some
the
time for
signs?
redemptions?
What are the signs that someone understands you uniquely? They're good listeners. Pick your preferred color card.
You guys out there can go to askhole.io if you want to corner Patrick Merchant at Mr. Brews on 9th and some street
New Hampshire.
and ask him questions that make him uncomfortable.
9th in New
What are
Hampshire.
the
Catch him at
signs
Mr.
that
Bruce.
people understand me? I don't know.
Uniquely.
They pick the yellow cards.
Yeah. I mean, the yellow cards are definitely more of the cards that I'd be enjoying.
This is a yellow card.
I don't do well with people yelling at me, I guess. So like, if you're able to make, so what I would say is like, if you're able to like stay calm through like most debates and discussions and like arguments, I'm
Nice.
cool.
Are you a yeller at all in arguments? Okay,
He
nice.
looks like it.
He looks more like a
I've seen
thrower
you on
than a yeller.
stage. Like you get pretty violent up there.
He looks more like a thrower than a yeller.
Yeah, I saw him hurl a stool at an audience member.
I'll cry before I start yelling, dude. Like I'll just break down. Like it'll be
Interesting.
done.
Interesting. Patrick Merchant, notorious cry bully. No.
Jesus Christ.
That's false. That's false.
Oh
I don't
my
know
God.
that. I
I'm
have
so
never
far
been a
on this-
fly on the wall.
Jesus Christ.
I was in Chipotle once, and I heard him having an argument upstairs in his apartment. It sounded like he was crying.
Well,
Is that true? I just wanted to know. Because
Yeah, his arguments get so loud you can hear them in the Chipotle he lives above.
nice. He does live above. You do live above a Chipotle, do you not?
I do indeed.
Nice. I actually walked
What
by.
we got?
You live over a VR arcade, don't you?
I do as well.
Yeah.
Dude, have you tried it yet?
I've been down there a couple times. It's pretty sick, actually.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. It's
That's
fun
really
stuff.
cool. That's really cool. Oh, we have another wave of food coming in, guys. Hold on to
how
your
is this possible?
Goodness.
Gallbladders.
Thank you
Oh.
so much.
What are
Wow.
these gold balls?
Sprinkles.
Oh,
Oh, they have those sprinkles in them?
Yeah.
Nice.
They're a little crunchy,
Nice. All right.
but not too crunchy.
Let's give Patrick another yellow card. Let's see.
It's a
if
nice
we-
surprise.
This is another yellow card. Personal question.
Okay.
It's in the same category of what's the most interesting fact about you that few people
Oh,
know.
sick. Okay, there we go.
Yes. So, Patrick, did your parents do a good job?
Yeah,
Nice.
I would say so. You
Hell
know,
yeah.
I mean,
I would disagree. Look at them.
What's something that you think that they got right that you see other people's parents get wrong?
Good follow-up.
my parents were big on like reading and looking into things pretty early, which I think was pretty good. Like,
That's cool.
They were all about staying involved in like current events and like what was going on around, and
Do you think that played a part in their like education and where they're coming from?
probably, yeah.
His parents are doctors, for those who don't know.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, I think
Hell
that was
yeah.
pretty cool.
That's exciting. All right, Alina, I think it's your card.
Patrick,
All right.
what is the best advice you've received, and why did you need it?
Quit comedy.
Why did you need to hear that?
No, it's probably but you should be nice to other people and work hard and focus on yourself more than you focus on what other people are doing.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing.
Why'd you need to hear that, Patrick?
I think it's easy to get caught up in like other people's bullshit and not think about what you can change in your own
Valid.
stuff.
Super
You know.
valid. Yeah. I think it's your card, Pat.
All right. Yes, I'm not gonna get asked to question this guy, guys.
So we've confirmed, guys, we did a whole round of yellow cards. Patrick still doesn't like being asked questions.
See, okay, all right. Gunnar, what makes you feel safe and secure?
Guns.
Good answer.
I always keep it on me, you know? You know how it be.
You know how Gunner be.
Yeah.
He be gunning.
Ha.
No,
I don't know. What makes me
Do guns
feel...
make you feel secure?
No.
No? Interesting.
Opposite.
Gotcha.
I get very uncomfortable around guns. Around them a lot, but still never got really like... Takes it a few times before I'm like, okay, cool, this isn't going to just randomly kill me. I
Yeah.
pointed at myself first.
I had to shoot what was called a goose gun when it was put in my hands when I was like 11 years old, and it was one of those things that like you literally go deaf for like 8 seconds after that thing goes off, and that was curtains on me being a super big fan of guns, I think.
Interesting. But no, I don't know what makes me feel safe and secure. Just like, I don't know. Xanax, if I'm kind of being honest. Gets rid of that anxiety, and I'm like, wow, I don't have much to worry about, and I guess my general existence is feeling safe and secure. I don't know.
You a big Billie Eilish fan at all?
No, never heard
No?
a song of hers.
Okay, gotcha.
Does she have a? What? What?
You have heard it. It was an irony. I was laughing at the irony.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Gotcha.
what? Is that
What?
a song of hers?
Oh, she has a song called Zanny. It doesn't. If you had heard of her, I was gonna try to draw a dot connect to the bestiality and veganism thing for like,
Oh.
oh, you like Billie Eilish,
He
but you
has
also
heard
like
of her. It's
Xanax.
impossible to know.
It is kind of hard to not have heard of Billie Eilish. Are you
I know who she is. I don't know her music at
Ocean
all.
Eyes?
Huh?
She performed at Coachella with Lana Del Rey. She sang video games. You haven't seen it?
No.
Where you
And she
been,
also
man?
performed with Vince Staples, and I didn't even watch that.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
A few Coachellas ago.
Fair
And
enough.
then the mic didn't work, and then Kenny Beats, the producer, made a joke about it, and he was like making fun of. I don't know, but no, I don't. Like, I pretty much listen to. I don't diversify too much into
Me
like
either.
big pop music. Like I don't think I've
Oh.
ever heard a Taylor Swift song. I
I
don't
don't
think I've ever
divers-
heard a Billie Eilish song. I don't think I've ever heard like a lot of the like.
You mean you've never listened to? Like, if you walk through a gas station, you've heard a Taylor
Walgreens.
Swift song. Like, you get it.
Yeah, and then, but that's also like just
But
the
you
way the
wouldn't
world is.
know.
Like in the last 4 years, I'm not going out to those places much. I'm going to like smaller markets and stuff.
Humble brag.
And local bars with like playing local music, like Henry's and all that.
Yeah.
So
I love Henry's.
I'm not in a lot of commercial spaces anymore because
Valid.
Lawrence really provides that opportunity to not have to.
It's a good place.
Yeah.
It's a good place. Get out to Lawrence, Kansas on Saturday evenings and go to Murph's Pub and watch the open mic. Okay.
Second Saturday, go to Brews.
Every second Saturday,
Friday.
every second Friday of the month, go to
I'll be
Mr.
there
Brew's Tap
twice.
House and Gunnar, I think it's your card.
What?
I work there.
Nice.
Go see Patrick.
Hey,
And be nice to him.
And before you go there and see him, go to askhole.io and so you can ask him some questions.
Make me real uncomfortable at work, guys. That's what we all want. We all need.
Patrick,
Do it.
if you had to eliminate 1 million people from one ethnicity, which would it be?
Patrick, I want to thank you for asking to come on my podcast.
Any ethnicity.
This is for posterity.
Oh my god.
One
What the
ethnic
fuck are
group.
these questions?
You can get them at askhole.io.
Okay,
Patrick.
eliminate 1 million of an ethnicity. That's the specified.
One ethnicity. 1 million people.
Indians because there's a lot. White people because you hate them. Come on. A lot of things to think of in this question.
Indians because you hate them.
Indians because you hate them.
Jesus Christ.
Episode title.
Well, if white people are an option
Yeah.
as an ethnicity, then I'm gonna take white people.
Which country? UK.
Okay, now
America?
you're specifying. Okay.
I am.
See,
Which
all
country?
right. Right. So if I had to specify like which,
British.
probably the North Koreans, so they'd be put out of their misery.
They're having a great time. I don't know what you're saying. Have you seen their propaganda? It's great.
Is that the
Could
best
be.
way to get around that question?
Maybe.
They don't have internet,
Comment
so-
below. Comment below and tell
They're not
Patrick
gonna find
whether
out.
he got whether
Like, I don't know. That's a
How well he-
fucking bad question for
Rate
somebody
him.
who looks like this.
rate him on a 5-star scale on his genocide plan.
Fucking Christ.
How would you like to see him die?
No, we're doing Death Note rules. Just they all have instant heart attacks.
Oh my
we're just doing Death
God.
Note rules.
No, we're not. How would you like?
Oh, let's go for a sad card. Hey Patrick,
All right.
who do you hate most?
This podcast right now.
All the marbles. He hates all the marbles. Red, yellow, black, and white. Okay.
Hey, got him. Who do I hate the most?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, fucking.
Matt Rife.
Like a living or dead.
Living or dead.
Oh,
Living.
I want to see if he gets the right answer.
There is a correct one.
There's a
for
quick
this
one.
Yeah.
I feel like Hitler's an easy answer.
Hey!
Hitler. We'll just say Hitler.
He got there.
Well, I just didn't know there was like somebody else out there I could think of that would be like more
Stalin?
obscure and fun. Yeah, I would have been
Lenin?
thinking about,
Christopher
like,
Lee. No.
Christopher- The
Yeah.
Count Dooku?
Yeah, the really cool.
Putin's
British
pretty
guy.
bad.
No.
No.
Love him.
Yeah, no, I love him too. Alina. to your card.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Christopher Lee.
Who in the room do you admire most, Patrick?
Ani for not asking me all these fucking questions.
That is exactly what I was gonna say, actually.
Hell yeah.
But I'm gonna go a different route. Ani because she makes good food. So
You value
That really is
good food making, Patrick.
Oh,
I hear you make a
God.
mean jambalaya.
I do make a good jambalaya.
Yeah.
I have a good jambalaya.
He actually does, and that's not just being nice. It
I've
was
heard-
actually really good.
I've heard legends of that.
It's pretty good stuff.
Mikey Picorni was there.
I'll bring it when we reshoot this podcast.
When we reshoot extensive reshoots on the fly. It didn't test well with audiences. We gotta.
The North Koreans seem to not like it very much.
I will throw you money to reshoot this podcast.
That's gonna be the closest I've ever gotten to editing my podcast, everybody. But no, we
You have a
post,
lot.
we post at
edit
dawn.
Edit it, but edit in things he said from the beginning.
Oh my god!
And it's right after he offers to bribe me to preserve his public image. There's just a super cut of everything that he said that he thought wouldn't air. No, I would never do that to you, Patrick. You're in a safe space. I know it doesn't feel like it, and that's by design. But you are in a safe place, and you're only going to be watched by people who admire you.
Well, I don't know about that.
Maybe not by the end of the podcast, but when they start viewing.
Like, oh, Patrick Merchant, I've been looking forward to this one. Like, oh, he's a monster.
Yeah. I've been telling people, Pat's coming on the podcast, and I'm like, oh man, I hope he doesn't say anything offensive.
And to be fair, I've done the best with what I've been given.
He's done
okay?
the best with what he's been
I've been given some terrible setups for racism. Okay.
Episode title. Okay.
I don't know why I'm having rolling panic attacks just sitting here.
Oh,
watching
no.
the
It's a good
podcast.
time.
Is there anything that we can do to make you more comfortable?
No,
Do you
no,
need
no,
a
no,
fidget
no,
spinner
no,
or
no,
something?
No,
Okay.
I'm fidgeting when I'm fidgeting.
Okay. Hell yeah. Patrick, I think it's your turn to draw a card and ask Alina a genocide question. You know?
Oh my god. All right, here we go. All right. Let's go.
I'm sorry.
Regardless of your conscious feelings or actions, do you feel in your gut that sex work is degrading, Alina?
No,
Hold this job?
I don't feel in my gut that sex work is degrading. I don't think it's degrading work. I do feel like sometimes people are economically coerced into, like when somebody's not making a choice to do it, it's like I'm not talking like in one way where somebody's like forced into it. That's horrific and degrading for the individual.
Yeah.
But in another way, if somebody's economically coerced into that and they don't have any other option, I feel like that's degrading. Like people should have like a litany of choices before they decide to do sex work, but I don't think sex work itself, when somebody's making a free choice, is degrading.
Based.
Okay.
You want to go off on your super anti-sex work tangent, Gunner, or do you want to draw a card?
So the problem with sex work is
Is these women? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
we can't have them earning money freely.
God damn it.
No, obviously sex work is.
We're doing this to make Patrick look better, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. We're Gunner, I think it's your card though.
Just gotta say, fine sex work. Big
Okay,
connoisseur.
yeah.
No.
Just to clarify, big supporter. Pay for your porn, people. Okay.
Alina, what about yourself have you been trying to fix for a long time?
Everything.
Oh.
I'm not satisfied probably with any aspect of myself, so.
Is it because you're not where you want to be yet, or is it just what?
It's probably like for one, because I'm not where I want to be yet, and then also I just like I've always been sort of dissatisfied with myself as a person. Like I don't like my personality. Like if I met me, I don't think I'd like me.
Interesting.
So I'd like
can
to
relate
get
to that.
to the place, like to fix something about myself. I'd like to be the kind of person I'd be happy to meet.
I've met people that are like me, and I invariably hate them. So yeah, that's yeah.
Where do I fall on that scale?
Tracks.
Answer that later.
I feel like you're pretty different from me.
Thank God. No, Alina. Do you think wanting to? I mean, that's a stupid question. Do you think this?
Yeah, we don't like those on
Wanting
this
to
podcast.
wanting to change so much is just holding you back from like even bargaining with acceptance.
Ah, I see. So like, maybe wanting to change a lot is keeping me from changing because I'm not accepting what is. If I don't
Yeah. You
should
accept
just
what
be
is,
more
I can't
determined.
change from there.
Like, is reaching some of that where the being happy, like, is that inhibiting some of the change?
I think that can make
Yeah.
that makes sense as opposed to wanting to change as a person. I could just accept who I am as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see how it would like lead to more dissatisfaction wanting to change someone.
Based. Hey Patrick.
Yes.
He's checked out. He's on his phone. He is gone.
on
He's
his-
looking.
checking
He's
my-
checking Tinder. He's checking Tinder.
He's setting up an Uber.
Oh my god.
Patrick, what were the conditions of your last breakup?
Jesus Christ, guys. It was pretty amicable, I feel like.
Nice.
You know, we were...
How do you do it?
Tell him you hate him.
No, it was just like, you know,
You let him down easy.
Yeah.
we were dating for a little bit. No, we weren't. We were dating a little bit for again, and then we kind of stopped, and that was it, you know.
What words were said? And who broke up with who?
Goodbye.
And with that, Taylor,
What?
goodbye.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it just kind of came up, and then we were like, yeah, you know, this isn't going great. So we kind of called it. It was fun.
I just want to, like, leave a note that just says, well, this is awkward, ellipses, you know? No further explanation.
Yeah, I mean, you know. I don't
Instead
know.
of like, never mind.
Well, that too. Anytime I'm writing a note, that's all I'm going to put on it, you know? Even if I'm not breaking up with somebody and I want to write them, like, a love note or something,
Yeah.
I'm just going to take a piece of paper and I'm going to write, well, this is awkward, and then just give it to them. And they'll know what it means. Hopefully. Otherwise, we might have to break up, you know?
Check Aura. You said that to Aura. You'll
I
know.
did say that to Aura.
check-
Had said that to me.
Yeah.
Aura had told somebody to tell me something,
we
and
got
that
to
I
the
would know
bottom
what
of
it
it
meant.
eventually.
And then so I
We
told
figured it
him
out,
another
but-
coded message and told him he would know what it means. And yeah, me and Aura have a fun telepathic chess game that we play with each other. It's more checkers than chess. It's a telepathic checkers game that we play by our own rules, and it's a good time. He's been on the podcast. Lawrence Comics. We're talking about him. Okay, Alina, I think it's your card. It's going to be the last card because it's almost 9/11, guys.
Okay, Patrick, when you introspect away from society and your physical body, deep inside, do you feel a sense of gender?
No, not really.
Same.
Nice.
I mean,
What do you feel inside of you when you introspect alone away from society?
I don't know.
At
I
9/11.
mean, it's kind of fucking weird questions. I
It
don't
is,
know.
isn't it?
Not that open. I'm barely this open with my friends. Like, I'm not like this
Same.
open with people on a fucking podcast.
Oh, but that's the
Same.
thing. You can get all of it out, and no one watches this. So like, it's just like hanging out with
Yeah.
like people you enjoy, and like,
This is an exercise in hiding things on the internet.
yes.
Okay.
And so, because like Taylor does this to build up an image of himself as like someone who is open and stuff, but it's just really no one watches this, and it's only a few people that he can
Yeah, so it doesn't count.
eventually not see again in the future ever again.
I was actually looking at how many views this podcast was getting
really?
as we
Yeah,
were
yeah.
sitting here because I was like, if it's more than 100 views, I'm pulling the plug on this motherfucker.
It's not usually over 100 views.
But this one, I mean,
This one's going to make the 360 mark, okay? I can feel it. No.
I
I'm
will say
Googling
something
this.
about that question real quick. Is interestingly, I don't know if I feel a sense of gender, but I will think of myself as my father's son. And that does gender me.
Yeah, it does. That's interesting.
But like maybe, and it really does feel like my father's son instead of my father's child, because
Yeah.
some of the identity is tied up in
Right, yeah.
that aspect of it.
In his opinion of you, and he probably would have been looking at it as a, yeah. That's interesting.
You're getting almost too many views for me to.
Almost. It's right on the edge of comfortability. Let me
Yeah,
tell
this
you,
is
man.
live,
I
too.
relate. This isn't live. Not yet. I wish. My internet is unstable, and otherwise it would be.
God.
Pat, you want to draw one more card?
Sure. I'll draw the last one. Oh my god. If you could ask the universe one question and get the truth, what would you want to know, Taylor?
What were the conditions of Patrick Merchant's last breakup? No. It would, how likely is everyone to sleep with Gunner?
Good questions.
A lot of zeros, I'm noticing.
I'd want to
Surprising
know.
amount.
I'd want to know if multiverse theory is actually on the ball. I'd want to know whether this is the only universe or whether this is one of many parallel universes. If I could actually get a straight answer from an all-knowing DMT being, I'd be like, hey. Is the Mandela effect a thing? You know, not the
Yeah.
Mandela effect, but multiverse theory. That'd be really fun to actually know for sure. Because like you can test whether the Earth is flat. It's real hard to test for parallel universes.
It was what Stephen Hawking was working on right up until his death.
Really?
A way to recognize if there are multiverses. I think he completed that research. I think it was like 10 days before he died, he completed it.
Interesting.
I think by studying microwave radiation from the Big Bang.
Huh. What were his thoughts? Was he pretty sure that it was a multiverse?
Yeah,
Or was he?
he was
Yeah?
pretty sure.
Interesting. Well, it's. Oh goodness, Ani, can you throw my ukulele at my face? It is by the coffee
Oh,
table.
don't throw it. Oh, God. Okay, thank you.
That
I'm
would've been
sitting too
such good
close to you.
podcast content.
Too many People get hit with objects when they're
Okay. Well, everybody, we've breached 9/11, which is since the dawn of time has been a sign that something should stop. So for those of you who haven't been on the show, I'm going to play ukulele for the next 90 seconds to 3 minutes, and we're going to go around in a circle, and all the comics are going to tell the audience, sum up your experiences on the podcast, tell the audience anything you would like them to think about over the next couple weeks. If you got stuff to plug a thing or two, and we're going to start with Alina.
Great podcast. Inexplicable Panic. A lot of fun. Thank you.
Horrifying. I hate podcasts now. I hope this doesn't get released. Taylor, I'm being very serious about this, by the way.
Too
I
bad.
seriously do not want this to be out on the internet.
It's not that big a deal.
no one watches.
You didn't say anything too bad.
I don't know. I thought it was terrible. But I'm gonna be at the Friday Night Funnies in Topeka show at Cosmos Court on the 12th of July, and I believe High Tide 21 on the 26th.
No, probably not. Because aren't you doing...
No, Thomas just texted me.
Oh.
So, yep.
That's show business, folks.
You can catch me at Mr. Brews in July and August, second Friday. Yeah, thanks for having me, Taylor. Always a blast.
Oh yeah, Mr. Bruce, July 12th.
Mr. Brews, July 12th. If you want to,
Hey, I'm there.
It's gonna be good.
Hey, Taylor's there. I think I'm the producer.
and you're gonna be there, and you're gonna be there,
It's
and
gonna
you
be a
were gonna be
stellar
there.
show.
And
Yeah,
gonna
we're
be
all
good.
gonna
Oh my
be on
God.
that show.
everybody,
That was horrendous.
everybody over the
What was
week,
it? It was
think about all
I guess
those
you got
terrible,
questioned the whole
terrible
time.
things that Patrick said.
Well, I had to talk about stuff that I really... That was like the only thing that I didn't want to talk about were like ex-girlfriends.
Oh,
And then I got like
Get
all of
over
those
yourself.
cards. Ah. Huh?
It'll be good. You're gonna love this. You'll love the next episode. Okay. We'll get you back on. And you can redeem yourself.
Yeah, please
Thank
get me
you
back
so
on. Don't
much.
100%. I thought you were great. I'm gonna be trying to get you back on.
All right.